Hello YouTube, my name is Sarah if you didn't know, and today's situation is going to be my worst purchases thus far in my life. I am starting to get a lot more into finances as I've been someone who has ignored my finances for years and years and years, and definitely sometimes put myself in some weird situations with money. And now that I'm a little bit older and I realize how important it is to be on top of your finances, I'm also starting to realize a lot of the mistakes I've made. So I'd like to share my top 5 worst purchases thus far in my life. I'm sure I will make more, but I'm hoping to be a lot more think about my purchases a lot more than I used to. So if you're interested, make sure to stay tuned and let's get right into the video. To start off, I think that my first worst purchase that I've made thus far in my life would be fleeting recreational hobbies. I have put a lot of money into stuff like a longboard, penny boards, scooters, art, supplies for activities that I was never that interested in, and I only bought because other people around me were doing it. This really goes for, specifically, I bought a $200 longboard, which I did use it, but I didn't buy it for myself. I bought it because I wanted to hang out with my friends who had longboards. And the reality is, I could have just asked them to not go longboarding the days that I wanted to hang out, and it would have saved me a ton of money. I also bought a penny board super randomly because I started watching like Casey Neistat and I loved his boosted board, but I was like, you can't buy a boosted board, but you can get a penny board. So I bought a penny board and I just own this random penny board that I've used it probably like 10 times and it was $100. Same with like DIYs and art supplies. I was like, I'm gonna be a DIY queen watching Lord DIY, and I didn't. So I wasted a ton of money on stuff like that. I always think if you're really interested in a hobby, find a way to do it for free before you invest money into it, and that's probably the best way to do it. Or find the cheapest way to enter, and if you still enjoy it when it's cheap, you're gonna love it that much more when it's high quality and costs you more money. But definitely do not just jump into hobbies that you don't know much about. You're kind of joining a trend and you might regret it later. My second worst purchase would be clothing that is far too fancy and I have nowhere to wear it. I did this so much like a couple years ago because I was a hostess at a restaurant, so I thought I need to be wearing the most expensive, beautiful clothing, so I would go to Aritzia and buy like $200 jumpsuits and wear it to work one time and then think like, this is way too fancy to wear anywhere. I don't have a professional job, I'm a student, so I'm not wearing this to classes. So I just have literally probably like 5 jumpsuits or dresses from Aritzia that cost me $200 that I have barely worn, and most of them don't even fit me anymore, which is super annoying. If you're gonna buy clothing that you're putting a lot of investment in, make sure it's an everyday piece that you're gonna get your money's worth out of it and you actually have places to wear and you're actually excited to wear it. Even some of them, I remember being in the store and thinking to myself like, I probably won't wear this, but it's really cute and I want to just like impress people and I want the salespeople to think that I know fashion, so I just bought it. But realistically, I think for a lot of clothing, I would recommend that you just take more time to think about it, sleep on it, look up reviews on it if you possibly can. And just know that missing out on a piece of clothing is not the end of the world. You're never going to think about how you desperately want those jeans because there's always going to be another pair. So if you're strapped for cash, don't buy the most expensive item, or if you know you're not going to wear it, don't buy the most expensive item. I'm now always wearing like leggings and a t-shirt, or like the most basic jeans and a t-shirt. So it just kind of sucks that I spent so much in my younger age spending money on all this clothes that My third worst purchase would be buying room decor and house decor that I have nowhere to put. I still live with my parents, so the only space I have to decorate is my like 10 by 10 room that my queen size bed takes up the entire room. So I don't have anywhere to put room decor. I don't know why for the longest time I kept buying things to hang on the wall. These random like planters pots that I never put plants in because the plants always die. I would always be buying like decorative things to put jewelry on, and all of this stuff I have never used. I've given it away or tried to sell it, or it's in the garbage because there's no use for these items. So I highly recommend that you're buying items that have a purpose in your room. As much as I highly believe that your room should be decorated how it makes you feel the most comfortable and you really enjoy because you're going to be spending time there a lot, Don't be influenced by seeing like a video on YouTube where somebody's like, I just redecorated my room in 24 hours, so then you feel like you need to go buy all this brand new decor and then you don't end up using it. And I really regret all of the random stuff I bought over the years because it has cost me a ton of money. Like fairy lights, when that was a huge trend, I bought so many fairy lights. I've never used any of them because I didn't know how to hang them up and I had nowhere to put them. So whenever you're buying your next set of home decor, really think, is this adding any value to my room, my space, or how I feel? And if you can go without it, probably go without it, especially if you have a smaller space to take care of like I do. Eventually it all just looks like clutter and I want it out of my room, which is why it all goes to waste. My fourth worst purchase is kind of a little bit of a story time and a little bit more of like just bad adulting. So basically this purchase was a brand new car battery, but the thing is, it didn't fix the issue with my car. So the story time with that is that my car I was driving and all of a sudden it stopped moving. The pedal didn't work, the radio turned off, the lights turned off, and it was just absolutely puttering like 10 kilometers per hour on the 100 kilometer per hour highway. And I immediately went to the first mechanic that I could find on Google Maps, and I got there and I said, fix it. I don't even care what the problem is, just fix it. So in these people's mind, they figured out the fastest problem they could solve, and they thought it was a car battery problem. So I replaced the car battery, which cost me $300, and I drove half a block away from the mechanic and the same thing happened again, which is crazy. So I turn around, go back. They tried another thing, which cost me $150 more. So at this point, I've spent about $500 on my car. Both fixes did nothing for me. So then I went to another mechanic and they actually assessed the problem and figured out that it was my alternator. So had I just waited and instead of being in such a rush to find like the cheapest, fastest mechanic, that's not really going to fix the problem, I would have saved myself $500 because I then had to buy a new alternator, which cost me $700. So all in one day I paid over $1,000 in car maintenance because I wasn't patient and I didn't go to the correct place to get my car maintained. I really believe now, after that experience, that car maintenance is so important because if you keep up to date on your oil changes, your filter changes, just getting the car checked, a lot of the times you can catch these big failures. So with that, I really recommend keeping your car maintained, and when something goes wrong, don't rush the solution because you may actually not be even fixing the problem. My final worst purchase that I'll be talking about in this video today would be nail polish. Now, for most people, it actually makes sense to buy nail polish. If you go to the nail salon all the time, you might be able to save yourself some money buying a bottle of nail polish here and there and just upkeeping your nail polish. The problem that I ran into was I bought probably 100 nail polishes. Nobody needs that much nail polish. Majority of it went bad, and in the timeline that I was buying these nail polishes, most of them were at least $10. So $10 times the literal probably hundreds of nail polishes I bought is thousands of dollars. If I had gone to the nail salon once a month, it would have cost me less money than all of the nail polish I've ever bought in my life, and I never paint my nails. Literally never. If I want my nails done, I always go to the nail salon. I almost never do them myself because I just can't do it that well and it doesn't last as long. And I know that I had good intentions when I purchased these, and a couple times I would paint my nails, but there has been no payoff. So if you're someone who's like me and you don't really care about doing your nails that often, just go get them done when you want to, because owning 100 different colors that you can never use is such a waste of money, and I'm so disappointed in myself. It was just such a waste of money. It is absolutely incredible that I convinced myself that buying 10s, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 bottles of nail polish was saving me money, and I was never doing my nails anyway. So those are my top 5 worst purchases thus far. I'm sure if I thought about it, there could be some other ones, and if you guys are interested in these type of videos, I can do one about my best purchases. I can do a new one down the line, or really anything about finances, because I am starting to be a lot more interested in. So let me know down below what your worst purchases are in your lifetime and how you hope to never do that again. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you next time. Bye.